All right, let's take a look here at number 43. We're in the same section, so the directions haven't changed, but we're starting to get a little more complicated, right? And so they have given us 8 times the fourth root of m to the ninth p to the sixth minus 3m squared p times the fourth root of mp squared. All right, well again, as soon as I see that word simplify and I see that I have radicals, I automatically assume that I'm going to be doing good stuff, bad stuff. So let's go ahead and rewrite each of these radicals with good stuff and bad stuff. Let's not forget our index. Minus 3m squared p, and then break this up into good stuff, bad stuff. All right. Well, you'll notice that under our radicals, we don't have any numbers, so that's good. So right away, we can start and look at our variables. So let's go ahead and pay attention to the m first. And we have m to the ninth. And again, when we're dealing with variables and their exponents, we want to go back to our index, which in this case is 4, and start thinking in multiples of that number. So 4, 8, 12, 16, etc. And we want to ask ourselves, first and foremost, is 9 a multiple of 4? Well, I don't see it in this list, so 9 is not a multiple of 4. All right, well, what is the next number down from 9, then, that is a multiple of 4? Well, the next number down from 9, or below 9, or smaller than 9, that is a multiple of 4, is 8, right? So, when we break this m to the ninth up into good stuff, bad stuff, m to the eighth will be good, and a simple m to the first will be bad. And 8 plus 1 gives us 9, but we're not going to write the 1 here. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at now the p to the sixth. Well, again, we're dealing with a variable and its exponent, so we want to take a look at our index, start thinking in multiples of this index, 4, 8, 12, 16, so on and so forth, and ask ourselves, is 6 a multiple of 4? Well, no, 6 is not a multiple of 4, so then we go, all right, well, what is the next number down from 6 that is a multiple of 4? Well, the next number down from 6 that's a multiple of 4 is 4 itself. So when we break this p to the sixth up, p to the now fourth is good, and p squared will be bad. And 4 plus 2 gives us 6. So we know we did that correctly. All right, and I think we broke everything up in this radical, so there's nothing left to do. Let's just double check. M8, M1 gives us M9, good. P to the fourth, P to the second gives us P to the sixth, and that's that. So there's nothing else to break down. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here then at our next term. So 3m squared p times the fourth root of mp squared. Well, if you take a look here, look, we could go through and ask ourselves those questions that we have been asking in the previous several videos about each of these variables. But if you look at this garbage here from our first term. Isn't it identical to this radical here? We have the fourth root of mp squared, fourth root of mp squared. So we really don't even have to do any work with this. We know that because this radical here in our second term matches the garbage from the work that we did in the first term, we can just go ahead and rewrite all of this as our garbage. We don't even have to really address this because we know it's going to be garbage. And that saves us some time. So now we can go ahead and try to clean up this second row a little bit and start coming to a final answer. So we're going to have 8, and that just comes from what we originally had. And now our good stuff radical is going to come out free and clear and clean without any radical signs. And we know that we're going to have an m and a p, but we may not know what their exponents are going to be. So let's go ahead and deal with the m. So when this m comes out of the radical, it's going to come out as an m, obviously. But what is the exponent? Well, in order to find the exponent, we're going to take the exponent that was under the radical, in this case 8, and divide it by the index, in this case 4, and 8 divided by 4 gives us 2. So m to the 8th, when it comes out of the fourth root, is going to come out as m squared. All right, and now p to the fourth, well, we know it's going to be a p, but we may not know what the exponent is. So we're going to take the power that was originally under the radical, in this case 4, divide it by the index or root, which also in this case is 4. And 4 divided by 4 gives us 1. So p to the fourth, when it comes out of the fourth root, is going to come out as p to the first. But we don't have to write that number 1, right? We can go ahead and just leave it as a single p. And then we'll go ahead and rewrite our garbage radical. So the fourth root of mp squared. All right, minus 3m squared p. And there is no good radical, so nothing is going to be coming out. That means we can go ahead and just simply rewrite our bad stuff radical. So mp squared, the fourth root of mp squared. Now that our radicals are identical, we can go ahead and consider these two terms like terms, which means we can go ahead and take a look at our coefficients and see if we can simplify. So we have 8m squared p minus 3m squared p. Well, 8 minus 3 gives us 5. We'll go ahead and rewrite our m squared p and then our garbage or bad stuff radical. And so our final answer for number 43 is 5m squared p times the fourth root of mp squared.